they're burning about 500 calories. So they need 2,400 calories to get through the day without losing any weight. But they want to lose some fat, right? So you got to give them the opportunity to dig into that fat as a source of energy so that they can lose the weight that they want to lose, right? So how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat do you want to give them, right? And right here I've got them taking in about 1,900, which is a 500 calorie deficit off their metabolic rate, right? So now you set their cardio. How many days a week are they going to do cardio? They do 4 days of cardio, 300 calories a workout. They're going to burn 1,200 calories. Strength training, three days a week with you. They're going to burn about 300 calories. And of course, you can have them wear a heart rate monitor or what have you to show them what they're losing. They're going to burn 900 calories a week doing that. So the weekly loss from their diet alone is 3,500 calories. Now, we all know that 1 pound of fat is how many calories? 3,500, right? So if you create a 500 calorie deficit every single day, right, which is about the max that you should do, right? When it comes to trainers and talking about nutrition and, working within your scope of practice, as a trainer, you need to be talking about metabolic rate, calories in, calories out, which is exactly what this does. You should be getting your clients to track their food, at least initially, right? And we'll talk about that in a bit. What you can't do as a trainer is you can't tell a client how to eat, exactly what to eat. So you can't map out food plans. You shouldn't be doing that. And you certainly shouldn't be talking, about giving medical advice in regards to diabetes and heart disease. That's a conversation for a nutritionist, and their doctor. But shedding a light on calories in and calories out is something you have to do if you want to get your clients to take action, right? And if you do this and you start running the numbers, the weekly weight change, if you do the math, a little over 1.5 pounds a week, it's going to take them 10 weeks, 70 days. That's how long it's going to take them to reach their goal. And you can run all these numbers easy. Explaining calories in, calories out, right? So you're setting the macronutrients. Okay, so now, has everybody got their cell phones? All right, let's whip them out. There are 1,000 apps out there that people can track. What I used to do back in the day, right, is I would give people a piece of paper, have it all folded up with all these lines, and they would track their food, and then I would guesstimate their calories, right? Now, you can whip out a smartphone, you can download an app, and in less than 3 minutes, you can put in a ton of, food of what you ate, and it will do all the calculating for you when it comes to protein, carbs, fat, the whole thing. And that sheds a tremendous light for people that most of them have absolutely no clue when it comes to dietary intake in food and the value of the calories that they're consuming. You start mapping out how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat, and they start tracking, and suddenly they realize, well, I'm only getting 50 or 60 grams of protein when really, based off science, I should be getting in 85 or 90. And what happens is you start increasing the protein, you start increasing the fat, and inadvertently the carbs start coming out, and next thing you know, they're losing weight, feeling great, and you're a rock star, and you didn't even do anything. You just, based off the facts, told them what they got to do, right? And they just got to do it. So I'd like to get you guys, if you haven't done it, track your food. Because if you guys don't know how to do it, and if you haven't done it yourself, and you don't know how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat that you're getting in yourself, it's very hard to kind of hold your clients accountable, right? So this is how you get your clients to take action towards their goal before they even leave the office. So literally, I say, if I meet with people, it's like, come in, bring your phone, and then at this point, after running their numbers, okay, download this app, what'd you have for breakfast? And literally spend 3 minutes showing them, boom, 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 right? And they say, oh, wow, I've had 12 grams of protein today. Oh, I've had 27 grams of carbs. I've had 16 grams of fat. Oh, cool. And then all of a sudden, they're managing their diet. And the first approach you want to give is, listen, I want you to go home and have chocolate cake. And I want you to track it. So you can just see what it is. You want to have 3 glasses of wine tonight? Go ahead. Write it down. Don't tell them to do anything other than just track what they're already eating. Then, once they get used to it, then it's like, okay, cool. So we're realizing that you're getting in about half as much protein as you should. you're getting in 3 times as much carbs and not enough fat. And then you start to kind of slowly, through conversations while you're training them, all right, let me see your phone. Cool, okay, let's do our whatever you're doing. Boom. And then you start looking at their food. Okay, let's try to bring this up. If they're like, well, I don't know how to get you. So when you create a meal plan for somebody, they're never going to stick with that, ever. It's going to last a day, right? But if you teach them how to fish, as opposed to catching a fish, it's totally different, right? So you're teaching them how to fish, teaching them how to go out into their universe, whatever that is, what stores they go to, what they got in their cupboards, what they now will start shopping for because they know they need to get more of this or that and less of this or that, and you're exposing what they need to be doing in a very easy way. And the coolest thing about Lose It is that they got a bar scanner. So for the client, that's like super easy. You just whip it out, click the button, boom, tell them how much of a serving you had. It makes it like super easy, But eventually, over the course of time, clients start realizing that they really shouldn't be eating prepackaged food, right? And we may talk about that later as far as the book. I don't know, anyone heard of the book Grain Brain? Solid book. Like, you got to read that book. That's scary, what goes on in that book. Typically things that have labels on it are going to be processed foods and probably lots of carbs and whatever. But they let them come to those conclusions. So you can predict your goal date and it works. And it's so easy, like once you know how to do it, and then you inform and educate your clients of that, and again, hold them accountable to it, and easy. All right, so people are funny. People don't know it, but they actually want to be held accountable, right? They want to be told exactly what to do. Not necessarily exactly what to eat, but what to do, and it needs to be tied to their reality, right? So when directly instructed, people respond incredibly well when they're given marching orders of what they should do and why. And again, intrinsic decisions. Convince them that this is what they need to be doing, and when they make that choice for themselves, they stick with it, and this is how you change a client's life forever. Giving them focus controls their thinking. Their thinking brain controls their actions. Keep them focused on the step they're taking today, right? Not tomorrow or next week, today. Just get them to focus on today. Just like Alcoholics Anonymous, right? One day at a time, boom. So, and that's called awareness and presence. So this blended with conscious choices, day-to-day choices that they come across, leads to right action. So when will they reach their fat loss goal? So when you map all this out, they're much more likely to do it, right? They see the light at the end of the tunnel. They put 2 and 2 together that, wow, if I do this, this is what's going to happen, right? If they don't see that light, it's hard for them to take action now. And the faster they start getting results, the more likely they're going to stay with you as a client, right? So you've got to get them to take action immediately. And that's why I say immediately, so immediate that they're already tracking their food. They've got a half a day's worth of food already tracked in Lose It before they walk out of your office that first hour. So from day one, strike while the iron's hot, get them to take action, and then they end up having no time to think about not joining for your program because you've already got them working towards their goal, right? Now the accountability part, right? So this is accountability that's simple for you and simple for them. So give out homework in bite-sized pieces. So client responsibility, track their intake. Showing up for the personal training, right? And then you're going to teach them how to do the strength training and other things that they can do on their own. And then cardio, right? How many calories are they going to be burning? Keep it simple. Start talking about, it's great to talk about heart rate training zones and all that stuff, and you could dial really deep into that rabbit hole, but you're going to lose the client pretty quick. Keep it basic. Hey, we'll cardio, a couple hundred calories at the end of the week, we need to get here. You can do it. Let's make it happen. So track intake, already kind of talked about that. People are incredibly clueless about food, even if they say, oh, I know, and we'll talk a bit about that in a bit. But that really is the crux of how you can get people to start losing weight immediately, which is what most people are coming in for, right? So tracking sheds an incredible light. 70-80% of your clients' fat loss is accomplished through their food intake. So the trifecta is hit the mark on all 3, strength, cardio, diet. Powerful motivator, gives them control. right? Then weigh them in. Research proves that when a client knows that they're going to be weighed in on a scale in front of somebody else, they're much more likely to adhere to their program. Research proves it. So you use the trainer. It's like, okay, let's go at the scale. And they're like, oh, really? Do I have it? You're like, yep, let's go. You know what I mean? And just make it happen. Well, where are we at? Boom. You know? And maybe they got their period. Maybe they had a lot of sodium. You know, talk about it. Right? That's fine. But don't shed a blind eye and not look at it. Right? You're not doing the client any good. So, research proves weighing them in works. They'll make progress faster, plus you're going to know what's going on, right? We don't want to wait weeks to realize that they're not really cutting the mustard, right? And if you do this, you'll get Facebook messages like this. This is a client of mine. I'm seeing and feeling results in a huge way. Wholly thank you for helping me tune up my food intake and helping me better understand the amount of calories my body needs. It's already becoming a routine and is not unreasonable. I haven't craved chocolate. Woohoo! I'm right on track from where you wanted me to be, so I can't wait to see where it leads. Everything you said would happen is happening exactly the way you said it. 1.5 pounds per week, building muscle. Crazy good stuff. That's easy to do with everybody that you come across. Positive encouragement. Great job. Awesome. You're killing it. I know you can do it. Words like that go incredibly far when it comes to motivating clients, and you need to speak them daily. You know what I mean? To your client, text message them, email them, whatever. Always use the royal we. When you're having a conversation with a client, always refer to the word we. Meaning, did we do our cardio over the weekend? Are we getting enough protein and quality fat? Are we sore from our last workout? Saying we is a subconscious reminder that you are an active participant in their process. Many clients are willing to let themselves down. They are more likely to step up to the plate when they know that somebody else is watching and that somebody else is with them in the process. So you're smart to tie yourself to them by using the inclusive term we, right? Nothing great is done single-handedly. So get personal. Pepper them with text messages, voicemails, emails, phone calls. Particularly initially, because you got to get the bus moving, right? Point is, get the bus moving. Look at that. Once you start rolling, and the client's like in control of what's happening, you don't have to keep pushing because they're kind of motivating themselves, right? And you're allowing them to take ownership. When a client starts taking ownership, that's when the magic happens, right? If they're ponying up the accountability, they will make progress. As they make progress, show them that progress in black and white. Show them that progress in objective feedback, not subjective. Now, subjective feedback is, I feel great, I look great, my friends are saying I look great. Okay, that's great. Let's look at the facts. Let's see how great, right? Because someone might lose 5 pounds. You run their numbers, what happens? They actually lost 8 pounds of fat, and they gained 3 pounds of muscle. The scale only said they went down 5. Don't you want to know that? Right? That's powerful. That's like, what? 13 pounds of change, not 5. And this is the final pillar. Remeasure, reevaluate, reprogram. So what is actually happening? Not what do we think is happening. What is actually happening is fact. What we think is happening is drama, subjective, and open to interpretation, often regarded as thoughts and opinions, which aren't really that good. So run the numbers: body weight, circumferences, skin folds, body mass index, pounds of fat, pounds of lean, metabolic rate, hip to waist ratio. Remeasure mobility and stability, and John and Mark are going to get into that. So there's that Excel spreadsheet you're going to get. Tracks the numbers. Boom, boom, Boom. So you can communicate, show them what's changing, what's shifting. If things aren't changing or aren't shifting, you can talk about it. The online system is, a bit easier and less cumbersome to use, but that tracks and stuff the same way. I suggest taking before-after photos. Works incredibly well, not just to motivate the client, but to build your business, right? Putting before-after photos up on the wall is a great way to market your capacity as a trainer. And if you're not doing that, you're probably not getting all the clients you could. So take those photos. And those are photos with numbers, which is kind of fun. Clients love seeing the objective feedback, right? So being able to see exactly what's happened through the process of what, the history that you've shared with that client helps solidify you as their go-to person, right? Because you're the one that brought them to the promised land. So graphs, 3 or more points of data begins to tell a very cool story of what's happened through the process. And it clearly depicts return on investment and encourages the client to keep going. Reevaluate your program. Confirm that the client, confirm where the client wants to go from here. They may have a slight shift in focus, right? So you want to make sure that you guys are all on the same page. Spice it up for those that like change as far as changing the programming. Keep it similar yet different for those who don't. And what I mean by similar yet different, some people, like to eat their peas first, then their carrots, and that's cool. But just make sure you change sets, reps, whatever, you know what I mean? Some people like to do lots of different exercises because, they're like at ADD like me or something. And just consider the training response. People are going to you're going to have to shift their program or else they're not going to continue to make progress. And these guys are going to talk about a bit of that. So side note, don't underestimate the value in remeasuring someone that has made no progress or has even gotten worse. Sometimes that's when you get people to sign up for training, right? It's a pretty serious motivator for someone to witness themselves getting worse, particularly when they can see it in black and white. To think they've gotten worse and to know that they've gotten worse is one thing, but to actually see it, objective feedback, wow, I have this much more fat, my circumferences are this much larger, that gets people to take action. And these are the facts. So if your client doesn't like the facts, it's time to change them. And someone who's never signed up for training, it also works particularly well with people that never signed up for training in the first place, who came in for a consult, ran their numbers, and did an assessment. Show these people that they've made no progress 6 months later after the gym, even if you've got to call them and get them in. If you're collecting data and you ran someone's numbers and you collected all their hopes and dreams, like we talked about at the beginning, and here it is 6 months later, they never did any training, you got them in your database, and you're like, I'm going to shoot Carol an email, see how she's going. You got to remind yourself who Carol was, right? You met Carol. Who's Carol? Oh, I remember Carol. She's the one that wanted to get ready for her daughter's wedding, that was entering menopause. Whatever the story, you got the story down because those are part of her hopes and dreams, right? Shoot her email. Hey, Carol, what's up? How you making out? We talked about you losing 25 pounds. You didn't sign up for training. That's fine. How you making out? The answer usually is probably not that good. If they're not taking action and you haven't seen them in the gym, so it's good to be like, hey, why don't you come in, let's see where we're at, and let's try to, get you moving. So always collect information no matter what. Delivering results. The best marketing is referral marketing. If you deliver results, you'll get referrals all the time. If you deliver results, you'll keep clients for longer. That's why you need to aggressively work to work yourself out of a job. You want to tell the client that. I want to work myself out of the job. I don't want to train you forever. I'll be happy to if you want me to train you forever. But that's not my job. My job is to teach you and give you everything you need so that if I get hit by a bus, you're going to be okay, right? That's what works. Nothing is more important than the impact that we have on others. It's empowering to get people fired up and taking action, and it's incredibly gratifying to watch clients make transformations. And isn't that why we're all trainers? So Implementing these tactics and strategies is a major part of program design. It virtually guarantees your client's success and hence your career as a trainer. Okay, cool. That's the end of my shtick for now. And we got John coming up with some movement screening stuff.